Nobody wept as much for the late king's funeral as his youngest son. The night of King Thacyr' funeral, Thacyr left the ceremony early to put his mind to slumber with drink. It's where the youngest of his oldest sisters and the heir to the throne of Roots found him and delivered the news. Thacyr would disappear tonight and be gone forever. They had always been the closest of the four siblings, but this interaction ended with fury and rage. Thacyr disappeared and Dawn saw Thacyr wrecked on the beach, vomiting, found by his best friend Abion, who alerted the royal guard, who brought Thacyr to Barenhold, the royal castle, which would now be his. Thacyr had spent all his life drinking and fighting and enjoying life any way a free man might have. Kingship had not once touched his mind as the youngest of four, and yet he was placed on the throne in royal garments by Viceroy Nygard Mez, who told him he'll only be needed in name and no more. Nygard had already been the true ruler of Erenor for the last 2 years, while King Thacyr' eyes wandered to the seas and history and faith. But when his grief had finally come subdued, no thanks to the drink, but by his predicament sobering him, Thacyr decided something. If he must be king, then he will do it right. In his first act as king, Thacyr removed the beloved viceroy from power. And if that wasn't controversial enough, Thacyr named his best friend Abion in his place. A man of lower than low birth, now the right-hand man to the king of Erenor. The backlash from the lords and ladies in the realm was supposed to be overwhelming, but Thacyr sought the approval of no one. Certain other nobles, often from less influential isles, were much more welcoming, and many were soon rewarded with power. Thacyr flooded the royal castle of Barenhall with his friends from the pub. The filthy folk, the nobles whispered, but he was loved by the common folk. He was much more than just a drunk or a swordsman or a youngest child. During his late father's last years, Thacyr had adopted his father's interests in faith and history, but now he had new legends to read. The kingdom was running dry, crops were failing, the seas had grown so cold and turbulent in recent years that the fish swam away and foreign traders wanted less and less to do with these dangerous seas. Attacks from the western isles of Lothnos were increasing every year, but were ignored by the cowardly lord, Nygard. The old viceroy had spent years wasting the last of their built-up resources, whilst being hailed as a generous lord. Nygard had convinced the realm of a lie, but Thacyr meant to be a good king, and lies had no place in his court. Thacyr had an inkling of how to secure the safety of what was now his realm. In the great speech of Barenhold in the year 272, the king said, "The realm is dying." And then, Lothnos must be eradicated. And finally, if thousands must die, then thousands shall. Within a fortnight, the Erenor Isles had amassed the greatest fleet they'd had in half a millennia.